Hello there, family.
What's up?
I didn't see you there.
What's going on, family?
Family, and welcome back to another edition of the Crenshaw Corner.
Yes.
I am your host, Sanchez Crenshaw, and as always, I am joined by the absolute best part of my day.
That's me. Mm-hmm.
The apple of my eye.
I am.
The wind beneath my wings. You getting better.
That was a soar. You like it?
That was a...
It's like my bird was soaring.
It was a sore, but it was more like the bird got shot and it's still healing up. So it was a sore, but I don't know if it was the one you were thinking of.
No, I felt good.
So good? Okay, cool. We'll go with that.
Like that. It was really good. I think you don't even give me credit for the way that I give you a bird.
No, I do, because initially you were a dying chicken. Now you're a broke leg pigeon. You're getting better and closer to birds that actually regularly fly.
Yeah, I'm not like you either way I thought I would. But go ahead, carry on. Do your thing.
That's been our MO all day. That's been our MO all day.
Yeah, we've had
it's been an interesting
It's
day.
been an interesting day. Me and him really been having some problems today.
But you know what though? Mm-hmm. You are still the rib that completes me.
He's completed, people.
The star
with a crack rib, but he is complete.
Wow. Because you're abusive.
No, I'm not abusive.
I'm telling you. I'm calling them peoples. I'm doing a wellness check on myself.
Call whoever you want to call.
I'm just saying.
Just do your thing. Do your thing.
The star to my Michael. Come on, sir. Come on, dog. This is simple. The star to my Michael is simple.
Well, I know it's not Michael Jackson.
Why would it be Michael Jackson?
I don't know who the heck is Star.
Come on. Okay. It's the 80s? Mm-mm. Come on, man. It's simple. Don't invite a vampire into your home, you silly boy.
No.
Come on. The
Michael J. Fox?
Why would it be Michael J. Fox?
I don't know. You said Michael, so
they're on the beach. Okay. Kiefer Sutherland.
Okay, so first of all, you said Michael and then you said beach, but no, that's the campsite, because I was thinking of, Michael
vampires.
Myers. No, but
the Lost Boys, man.
No one knows that.
Apparently, people know that, man.
No one knows that. First of all, I've never even watched. I don't even know what that is.
Oh man, you are so. Every time I feel like, it's just. Are you human?
Yes, I am very much human. But who is the Lost Boys?
The Lost Boys, man, it's Kiefer Sutherland. It was a group of vampires. They lived in a cave on the beach. Where you went wrong is
you said vampires. Do I watch that type of stuff?
But it was a romantic love story.
If it was a vampire in it, I wasn't watching that, baby. Why would I watch a vampire? And why would I watch a vampire love somebody?
Corey Helms and Corey Feldman, the two Coreys.
So you think
they out hunting vampires together because they brothers?
Like the Hardy Brothers?
I'm not talking to you anymore. Please tell the family your name.
I'm so serious now.
I'm not doing this.
Okay.
I'm not doing this.
What's going on, family? What is going on,
name.
guys? I am Angela Crenshaw, guys. What is going on?
Family, that is my wife.
I am your wife, but we going back to that.
I feel like you're a time traveler. I feel like you just got plopped here.
So you telling me everybody watching?
Okay. Let's put it to you like this, and family, we have company today.
Yeah, we have.
And so we'll introduce them shortly.
But wait a minute.
But so that means 100% of the room, 75% of the room knew what I was talking about.
Because y'all corny.
Wow. So what you're going to do is you're going to insult the guests before we even talk to the guests.
Well, two things. The guest is guest, crazy. And the guest been family for several years. They know. They know
crazy.
How I feel. No.
Family, I'm going to go ahead and finish off this housekeeping.
Finish it up. Did I introduce myself?
You did.
I did say my name?
You want to say it again to make yourself feel better?
No, I did say it. Go ahead.
You remember now?
I remember. Go ahead. Say what you're saying.
New family members, welcome.
Hi, guys.
Thank you for listening. However you're listening, whether it's on iTunes, whether it's Podbean, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Google Podcasts, whether it's Amazon Music, whether it's iHeartRadio, on our own personal website at www.thecrenshawcorner.com. We welcome you.
What about our other thing?
And family, also, we can be found.
Because it's 8, because I count now. So
on the tubes of you.
Yes.
If you go to Al Gore's internet.
Yes.
And you simply search YouTube. And then when you're there, you search the Crenshaw Corner.
We are there.
We is there.
We is there, guys. We are there.
So while you're there, excited. But do me a favor, when you go.
Tell them, baby.
Make sure you share. First of all, watch a video while you're there.
Right, watch a video.
Do that first. Watch one.
Watch one.
Watch more than 2 minutes of it if you don't mind, please. It helps me on the algorithm.
You know what?
I'm starting to learn about the algorithm.
Listen, I was about to say, we didn't say that before.
No, we didn't. I just threw that in.
That's good. We need to tell people.
I know.
Go for it.
That's why I was telling them, because
Okay.
we need to tell
You
them.
right. Tell the people. Go ahead, finish.
So like, share, watch the video, share the video, comment on the video, like the video.
Yes.
And then when you're done watching the video, there's this little bell, it's a notification bell.
Ping.
Click that notification
Like the way I
bell
said that?
to be notified.
Ping.
To be notified.
Ping. Is it ping though?
It's not ping.
What does it say?
It's a bell. It actually goes ding.
I feel ping. I like ping.
Let's go with that.
Ping.
With that.
Mm-hmm, ping.
Family, I don't know what's going on. Family, I think she been drinking. I'm going to check her alcohol blood
we good.
level.
Go.
I think because she been acting funny all day, family. She been acting real funny.
I have not been acting
all
funny.
Day, family.
You've been a little tense. You ain't took your medication because
that what we gonna
you've
do
been a
right
little
now?
tense today.
We got family in the room.
Tense.
Wow.
They
For our
know
returning
us.
family members,
What's going on, returners?
Welcome back.
Hi, guys.
we love you. We appreciate you. We thank you for being here.
We do.
So our returning family members, keep listening.
Yes.
Keep being a part.
Yes.
Keep reaching out to us on the socials.
Yes.
Because we are an interactive podcast, which means we can be found on the socials. We're on Instagram.
Yes.
We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on
You can say
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. There we go.
See, what happened was, had I do what I
Don't
normally
do that.
do,
All under Crenshaw
like
Corner.
we're instant.
Don't do that. You see I'm
we're
talking over you?
bookers,
You see I'm
and
talking
we're
over you?
tweets.
Don't do that.
You'd have knew what the next thing to say.
Don't do that.
See,
All
I
under
threw you
Crenshaw
off.
Corner.
We are. We are. We are. We are. We are. We are.
And of course, you can email us at any time at thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com.
Yes.
Once again, thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com.
Yes.
And as always, welcome to the cookout. Make sure you bring some aluminum foil so you can wet bag.
Take something with you.
So you can take something
Crenshaw
with you.
nugget, a gem, or whatever
Something,
the case
a
is.
different perspective.
Something. But thanks again, family. We love you guys so much. Seriously.
Family, I'm excited.
So much. I'm excited.
So, family, understand that we made the statement that we have guests in the room.
Yeah.
However, my wife cleared it up for me.
Yeah.
They are actually family
Feel
as
like
well.
family. Yeah.
We have known these wonderful people for quite some time.
Yes.
Quite a long time.
Learn so much.
Learn so much from them.
Learn what to eat and what not to
Yeah.
eat. Mhm. Where
So
to go
family.
and where not to go.
Nah, you go everywhere. You go everywhere. You go everywhere. So, family, you have to understand, and if you live long enough, you understand that there are certain people that God puts in your life,
Yeah.
and He puts them there for a reason.
Yeah.
Because you understand, there's certain people that are there for a season,
Yeah.
and there's certain people that are there for the long haul.
Yeah.
That no matter what,
Yeah.
you can always turn to, you can always depend on, where they'll always be in your
Absolutely.
life.
Absolutely.
That's the couple that we're talking to today.
Yeah.
Where we know that whether it's 10 years from now or 30 years from now, they're going to be in our lives.
Yeah.
We're going to be in their lives.
Yeah.
My wife is going to be threatening them because that's what she does.
I don't threaten.
And then the wife of the couple will be threatening me because that's what she does.
Yeah,
I'm a little afraid of
because
her.
the threatener really is on the other
Yeah,
side.
I'm a little afraid of her. So, family, without further ado, we're going to allow them to introduce themselves, and then we're going to have some conversation. So, we're going to start with the gentleman of the group.
Yes.
Take it away, sir.
Oh, I'm Chad Schuchmann, the gentleman of the group.
Gentleman of the group.
New title.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice.
It's a nice
It's
title,
nice.
yeah.
A nice title. Yes.
Well, I was told I need to introduce myself. So I grew up in Iowa. I come from a long line of Iowa farmers, and then went to high school in Michigan, and then joined the Navy right after that.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
spent some time in the Navy as a Navy Chief Petty Officer on submarines, and then while I was on one of my tours of duties in South Carolina, this beautiful lady to the left of mine came down into Charleston, and we met there.
And we'll talk about that for a little bit, too.
Yeah.
The beautiful lady to his left. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, beautiful lady.
Hi.
Hi,
I'm
friend.
Amber.
Hi, family.
I'm from Arkansas. Moved out here.
What's your name?
Oh, I said I'm
She said Amber.
Did you say Amber?
She did.
What
It
is
was
going
just-
on with this soft voice?
It was
you
just
trying
really
to-
soft when she said it.
I'm a really quiet and shy person. And
Oh
all-
my goodness! Oh, you are killing it! You are killing it! Go ahead, go ahead, go. That gonna see the real deal, but go ahead, Miss Amber.
I'm from Arkansas, and like Chad said, I went down to Charleston in 2000 and met with a friend of mine, and my friend happened to be his friend, and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
And so, and how long have you guys been together, and how long have you guys been married?
Well, we've been together since 2000. We were married in 2002, so we'll be coming up on our 20th wedding anniversary in March.
Wow,
2 decades.
two
decades.
decades.
Before we go
Yes.
too far, just one quick question, just a small one. Chad, how did you manage almost 20 years with this particular woman here? How did you do that, sir?
He
Very
laughing
carefully.
he laughing so hard, like, ooh, this is dangerous ground. This is dangerous ground.
Self-reflection on what I could do better.
I like that.
Safe answer. Safe
That's
answer.
that good answer, sir. That's that I've been married for some years and I'm trying to keep being married.
I know
Yes,
exactly
sir.
what to say.
Yes, sir.
I know what to say. Amber, how is it being married to Chad?
That's why I brought my rum punch with
Yeah,
me and
rum
my water bottle.
Okay, got it. Okay, now you guys got four
Kids.
amazing children.
Yes, ma'am.
Incredible. So what's the ages?
Lindsay is 27 and recently engaged.
Wow.
Got twins, boy and a girl, who are 18, Savannah and Dawson, and
Yeah.
Jessica, who is 15.
Ooh, the house is emptying out.
It is.
How are you guys going to be
How y'all
with
gonna
being
be?
empty nesters?
Right. Y'all gonna be okay?
First of all, are you guys going to be empty nesters?
Right.
Are the kids leaving? That's the question. Are
Yes
they
and
leaving?
no.
I think we have about 3 years left before they all.
About 3 years.
disperse.
How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah. What will you do?
I don't know. He just travels for work, so
I was
maybe
hoping-
I'll get to travel with him.
Yeah, I
at
was
some
hoping to
point.
take her with me when
And I'll go
traveling around
party
the
while
world.
he's in meetings.
Yeah.
Did you
You're
say
gonna get to
party
party
while he's in meetings?
Well, if he's going to be in meetings all day, I'm not going to sit in the hotel room and stare at the TV in whatever language of the country I'm in.
And then I'll be able to schedule more time because most of my international trips I go in and go out. And anytime you do sightsee, if the family's not there to sightsee it, every
Right.
time you see something cool, you're like, man, I wish my family was here to see this.
Right.
So it'd be cool to actually, all right, take a day here, take a day there, and actually go sightsee when I'm
Yeah.
on business.
Ah.
So between
that's so
the
sweet, Chad.
curious between the Navy and between your actual job, because you say you travel internationally, how many countries and how many continents have you actually been on?
Well, I've been on all the continents except for Antarctica.
Wow.
But countries, I'd stopped counting. There's quite a few.
Wow.
I had to switch my passport over recently, so I no longer keep track.
Well, this one is over. Thanks. Can I get a new one, please? Thank you.
When the kids were little, we used to play Where in the World is Daddy?
Really? Oh my gosh. How about you? Same question.
I have been on 4 continents.
Wow.
I have not been to Asia or Africa yet, or Antarctica, but those are on my list.
That's on your list.
COVID kind of put a damper on that.
What do y'all have against Antarctica? Why you haven't been to Antarctica
Actually,
yet?
that's the goal. So there's actually a cruise from New Zealand to Tasmania to Antarctica,
Mm-hmm.
and I do want to do that. But that stupid COVID thing, and
Right.
you can't get
Yeah.
into New Zealand or Australia right now. I don't think
Okay.
Antarctica cares. I think it just like freezes and dies down
Yeah,
there.
nothing lives in Antarctica. So.
And I don't have any business down there, so there's no reason for me to go to
Mm-hmm.
Antarctica.
Go talk to the penguins.
Yeah, good.
That could.
Just do me a favor when you go through. You said Tasmania.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just pick up one of the little devils for me and just put it in your bag and bring it
They're
back with
pretty
you?
cute. Yeah.
But you would not want to put one in your bag, though.
That's why I need you to put it in your bag. Y'all deal with that.
You'd be walking around with fewer digits if you try to
Yeah.
put one in your bag.
Ooh.
They're pretty wild.
They pretty wild.
Cute, though.
Cute. Okay, so I got some questions about the marriage part of it. Okay, so we're going on 20 years.
I want to know how they met.
Yeah, you want to know?
Let's start there.
Start there. Go for it.
How did you meet?
In a bar.
Okay.
Very
Okay, that's the
cliche.
way to do it. That's the way to
Well,
do
I mean, so again, I went to go down to go visit a friend of mine,
Right.
and she happened to be his friend. And I walked into the bar, and I knew nobody, right? Like first time in town, whatever.
Right.
Sorry, I hit the
You
mic,
okay?
just trying to be like Angela.
it. It's no problem.
and just being family. Just
being family.
So I walk in, and it was really funny. Like I again knew nobody, and God whispered in my ear, "You're gonna marry that guy," and I was like, "God,
Really?
bro, like no. Like it was my divorce from my previous marriage wasn't even final yet,
Right.
And I was not in the mood for
Anybody else, right. Anybody
at this
else,
point.
right.
So it was, yeah,
Like
was
just
it.
like that.
just like that. And then he ignored me all night, so I was kind of pissed off. I'm not gonna lie,
Chad, did you ignore her all
Wait,
night?
okay, wait. You trying to talk to him and he ignored you?
he did. Right?
You see my face, Chad?
Can
Brother
I
blew me off.
let me respond to that?
Please
Okay, go ahead.
respond.
Please respond.
So I used to drink.
Right.
So I like to go to the bars to drink.
Right, okay.
Right. So when Amber walked in, I looked over and says, well, she's out of my league. And so I was like, why put, right?
Put in the
Just
effort.
continue to drink and move on with my life.
Continue to drink.
I got you.
But she spoke to you though.
Yeah.
And you still,
I don't think I ignored her that long.
how long did he ignore you, Amber?
He was like present in the room. So like it was us and a group of friends, and we went out to dinner and we went to go play pool, and he was like, all right, well apparently she's not going away, so I'm gonna have to talk to her.
Is that what
That's
That's a feeling that you got. She's not going anywhere. Let me just say something. Were you attracted to her immediately, and
Yeah.
that's why you was ignoring her like that?
Yeah, because out of my league.
Out of my league. How is she still in your league now? 20 years.
Still out of my league.
She's still out of your league. Okay.
He's just sucking up for Christmas.
Is that what this is? Yes. This is what this is? Okay. So now, but how do y'all get together though? Because now
Hold on,
God told you.
Before we even go there, I'm curious. So first impression. Well, I know, Chad, you say that when you first saw her, you felt like she was out of your league at that time. First impression, when you first saw this gentleman sitting at the bar, what was your first impression?
Well, like I said, God was whispering in my ear, like, you're going to marry this guy. And I was like, no, like I am not in the mood for a relationship. I wanted no part of that. Like, I was fine going out to dinner, playing pool, hanging out. That was fine. But
Right.
I do not want a relationship.
Was he someone, when you first saw him, you're like, yeah, I can at least date him?
I mean, the Lord done told you, honey.
I said he was going to be a future potential.
A future potential.
A future potential boyfriend or a future
Yeah.
potential
Yeah,
husband?
there was future potential there. I was like, that's it. That's all I was willing to give God grace at that moment.
She just didn't realize how much work that potential was going to be.
True. It's like, get a lump of coal, and how long does it take till you get a diamond?
You just keep on going. Okay, so then so how do y'all get together then at that point?
We hung out with our mutual friend, and like the next day we all went to the beach, and we just kept keeping in contact, and I ended up coming back out five weeks later and surprised him, and we just saw each other whenever he went on leave every 4 or 5 weeks.
Wow.
For a
So
year
you
and a
still
half.
in the military at that time?
I was still in the military. I worked a shift work that every fifth week I got a 4-day weekend.
Okay.
So she could come out to Charleston, or I could go to Arkansas, and then it was also my last year in the Navy, so I
Right.
had a lot of leave to burn. So I took, like, every couple months I took a whole week off.
I'm curious about something real quick. This has nothing to do with marriage or anything or relationships. How much time have you spent on a submarine?
Well, I spent about 8 years on an operational platform, so
Right.
operating the plants. Actually, on a sea tour going, I was out of Pearl Harbor for 3 3/4 years.
Continuously?
You're in and out of port, so you're just on the normal operating tempo with the submarine. You go out, you go in, you go
Right.
out.
And what was the longest you've ever gone without seeing sunlight?
I typically don't discuss that.
Let's just say it was longer than Amber could have gone without seeing sunlight.
Wow.
It was a lot of days.
Wow.
I've always been kind of curious and if you don't want to get to it, I understand, because this is not the topic. I was just curious. But what is that like? Being on a submarine, living, because it's 100 some odd people?
Yeah, roughly
any given
that.
time?
So it's like going to work,
And never leaving.
but never going home.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of like COVID, where you
I'm
are
about to
home.
say the same thing.
Right.
Right. So you go into your office and you work, and then you come out and you have your home. So a submarine life is the same thing. So
Yeah.
every day when you're in port, you still go to, unless it's weekend, you still go to the ship, right? Your job is still on the ship. So,
Right.
so you're down there every day working. It's just every once in a while you just close the hatch and you go, right? So, and then instead of sleeping at your barracks, you sleep on your rack up front. And
Wow.
so it's not like you have when you're on a submarine, you don't have a window whether you're in port or out of port. So
Right.
And
How
he's
about-
6'2", so, I'm sure
Yeah,
he
and
knocked his
see,
head.
and that's the thing too, because family, of course, you can't see him, but Chad is not a small guy.
Yeah.
So to be on this, I've been on a submarine once. It was a tour. I was like, "There's no way. I can't. I would lose my mind." But I have respect. I have nothing but respect. My uncle was a Navy man. He was a lifer. He retired Navy. He was distant decades though. He actually served some tours in Nam, and he was on months at a time. So I heard stories from him. I know there's no way. So I have nothing but respect for you,
Yeah.
sir. Just to be able to be on
Yeah.
that situation and then again also to be married to Amber for 20 something years. So that's just because that's a
I thought we were friends, bro.
we are, and I love you.
Yeah.
I love you. But I've spent time with you as well. And I know that it takes some sainthood. And then to be married and be like, I do, and I do forever.
Yeah, forever.
So I'm curious that when did you first know? Because Amber said that
The Lord told
the
her.
Lord talked to
Told her.
her the very first night. She fought with the Lord, but apparently the Lord won.
yeah, because
He
he
normally
because he
does.
will.
Yeah,
Because
he
he
normally
will.
does.
Because he will.
So, Chad, I'm curious for you, when, like you said, you first saw her and you felt as though she was out of your league, but okay, 20 some odd years later, y'all still together. So, at what point did you know, yeah, I want to marry her?
yeah.
So 2 months in, so it was the third time we met.
Uh-huh.
So Was it the third time we went to Iowa or the second time we went to
Third.
Iowa?
Or Third time.
Third time. So the third time we went to Iowa, just had to go to a family thing. So
Okay.
I always had this, just like when she walked in. So I'm going to marry this guy. I always knew that the Iowa farm, the homestead farm, the woods that are there are very special and almost like a spiritual special for me.
Right.
So,
Okay.
So I just always had this feeling that whoever I would actually take to the Iowa farm, walk in the woods with, would be the person I would marry. And she was the first person to ever go to the family farm and walk in the woods with me.
Oh, wow.
So it was that third time that I knew that was it.
This is so heartwarming. I'm just looking at y'all a little bit
Actually,
different.
really
now.
is.
I'm just looking at y'all a little bit different now, right now. I'm just
This is
looking
like
at-
a 80s romance.
Right, it's like a little.
I love it.
Like, this is so good. I'm like, okay. I'm just looking at you like, wow.
It's like Top Gun, but the Navy version. I love it.
And then what my grandpa say? Something, when are you going to put,
I don't remember. It was a long time
It was
ago.
right in the middle of the kitchen. Everybody's sitting there. And he's like, when are you going to put our ring on her finger or something like that? But it was like, my grandpa called it right off really loud, right in the
Wow.
right in the kitchen.
Thanks, Grandpa. Thank you.
Well, even your dad, with the second time, then when I came out to surprise you, your dad, because this was like pre-cell phones with like pictures on it. And,
Right.
and his dad, I walked into the bar again because they were having a celebration because he had just made chief. And his dad was like, oh, she just walked in. And Chad's like, no, she didn't. Like, she's in Arkansas. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he turns around and he's like, oh, crap. She is here.
Because I didn't know she was. So I was making chief. So my parents were in town for the chief pinning ceremony.
Right.
I didn't know she was coming to town. So it was a surprise when we were at the bar hanging out. Same bar that we met. I was with my parents. And
Wow.
she came walking and surprised me.
Oh, that's so
That's
sweet.
so sweet. Y'all so sweet.
I'm done, baby, because I don't want to take up all the questions. So.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, so now let's talk about. Okay, so now we get together. We got these beautiful babies, and so how does that work? Because were you still when the kids came? Were you still traveling? You had to stop traveling, or were you still traveling?
No, I got out of the military and didn't have a job because I was gonna stay in the military.
Okay.
And Amber and Lindsay were gonna move to Hawaii, and then the Navy and I had a disagreement of what my next duty station should be. So I got out instead.
Right.
And then it was such a quick transition. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a degree. So I got out in May and got married in May.
We got married in March.
Got out in March and got married in
It's
March.
an M.
M.A.
It's an M.A.
Yeah, MA is close together. I would have made the same mistake. It's okay.
And so then I spent the next 6 months or so going to finish up some community college stuff to get my degree.
Right.
So I got out and became Mr. Mom because I was taking Lindsay to and from school and stuff like that.
Wow. And so you were working.
Yes, ma'am.
What were you doing?
Working for JB Hunt.
Did you like that?
I did. Because, I had a really cool job because I got to play with trains and trucks. So that was kind of cool.
You got to play with
Trains and trucks. Yep.
I know I said I was going to stop, but I'm sorry. Because I just want to talk to Chad. Chad is fascinating to me. So I'm curious. So I picked up on a couple of things. So a Navy man. And then now life takes a 180. Because Navy, when you're in the military, you know what your days look like.
Yeah.
You know what you know what it is. Now, so you're out of the military. Now, not only do you have a wife, but now you have a child as well. So you go into a situation, have a ready-made family. And now you go from being a chief in the military, as you say, to now you are Mr.
Carpooling.
Now you're Mr. Mom.
You're carpooling.
What was that like? What was that adjustment like for you? What was that like for you?
It was honestly a very difficult transition.
Really?
Because I went from supervising and teaching people how to supervise a nuclear power plant to now I'm driving Lindsay to school working the spelling bee.
Wow.
Working on spelling on the way to and from. Probably the biggest challenge was learning how to do a ponytail.
Oh, wow.
Without bumps.
Without bumps. So Lindsay was constantly, and Lindsay has a very full head. It's very thick.
Right.
It's always bumps. It's almost impossible to dry. So I'd be drying her hair and then having to do ponytail. And she'd be like, are there bumps back there, Daddy? I'm like, no bumps. So like the household chores weren't that, so I could easily transition into household chores, right? I knew how to clean and I knew how to iron, I knew how to do laundry. So I focused a lot on that. My cooking skills had a lot to be desired.
Okay.
But
Amber seems to agree.
but it was a difficult transition actually. Probably the craziest things that actually happened is I started doing like like security patrol at the school. So I actually got to wear a vest.
Okay, so
and
wait.
have a mic on.
So wait.
It was the first time I felt normal because I had a vest and I had a mic on. And my whole job was to walk around and check to make sure the doors are locked, right? I'm like, this is just like being on watch in the military,
Oh,
right?
my
So
God.
I actually felt very comfortable. But
You felt great.
This was the year after 9/11, right? So this
Right.
is whenever people were a little,
Everybody was on edge.
apprehensive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they had the watchdogs, is what they were called.
So how are you while you're working and he's making sure the ponytails don't, were you like, because for me, it would have been like, I can't love him anymore at this point right now. Like I would like, I cannot love him anymore. How is the transition for you? Like, because now he is carpooling, he's spelling bee, he at the school, he doing it all, and you in corporate America. How are you feeling?
It was a transition for me too, because I was used to being single mom, so things were my way, because that's how it worked. And then he would drop in, and then I know it's still like that because he travels for work now. So it was almost like we were still in the military because he would be
Right.
gone for a week or two at a time.
Right.
So me and the kids, and then he like drops in, and then he's gone again, and I'm like, look, you just messed up our schedule, man. Like, stop. We got a routine down.
So then comes the twins.
Yes, Lord Jesus.
Not Lord Jesus. How was that? Because now we got one beautiful girl. We got the bumps. We got it down. We got the spelling bee. Dad got it. He has got this thing going. And here comes the twins. Three kids now.
It was rough. I'm not gonna lie, because he had actually moved to Charlotte. He got a job out here, and I had hurt my back. This is a funny story. So I had hurt my back, and I had to have my dad come get me out of the floor at the house because my back, my back froze and I could not get out of the floor.
Wow.
My dad couldn't get me out of the floor, so they had to call an ambulance.
Oh my goodness.
Which was even more mortifying because this is the town I grew up in. So the guys who are the paramedics that come in there, they're like, "Oh, hey Amber, what are you doing on the floor?" And I'm like, "Y'all, stop, just stop." And it
Just get me up, please. Just get me up.
So we get to the hospital. They gave me a lot of shot of morphine because that's about the only thing that you can take is that whenever you're
Right.
pregnant and everything. And so I'm like, we gotta check on the baby, make sure the baby's okay. And we go into the ultrasound room, and I'm like, oh no, there is something wrong with your machine because there is not two little pea pods in there.
Oh, so at that point you didn't
Not
know.
a clue.
So
I mean,
how far along were you at that point?
I thought I was 6, 7, 8 weeks maybe
Right.
tops, and it ended up being close to about 11.
Wow.
So at that point, Chad, you're thinking you were having one little beautiful baby.
Well,
And
so
now
I told
wow.
him, I'm like, hey, I'm going in for an ultrasound. So he calls me later and he's like, so, hey, how's the baby doing? And I'm like, oh, yeah, the babies are fine. And he's like, this really long pause.
well, because I don't hear very well, apparently, right? So I had to make sure I understood what I heard.
Right.
I'm sorry. Did you say babies? Yep.
Ooh.
Now, does twins run in any one of your families?
Right.
They're like, yeah, don't you remember your great Aunt Gertha? And I'm like, nope. I got nothing.
Your side either?
But they're both. That's on both sides. But this.
So far down,
Okay.
you didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now, do you stay in corporate America? Now he's doing 3 babies. How's that working for you guys?
So we moved to Charlotte, and then both of us, of course, have new jobs, and then
Right.
get Lindsay into school. And I was working for Maris Klein at that point, which was a great company. And I had 3 babies, and I had to go back to work because I could not stay home with 2 babies at home. Amber was not made to be a stay-at-home mom.
I gotta work, Lord. I gotta work, Lord.
I would take a nap in my car at lunch because they were on opposite sleep schedules.
Really?
They were killing me.
Oh my gosh. How are you with it?
He slept through it.
The whole thing?
I sleep well at night.
I sleep good. I sleep well. Okay.
I think though in the military you have to learn how to sleep in any conditions though.
Just true.
And fall asleep really quick. We used to say that if you had 15 minutes, it was worth taking your uniform off and laying down to get a nap.
And just go to sleep. Just go to sleep.
If it was less than 15 minutes, just find a pipe to lay on.
And just lay, because that's it for you. Okay, so now we're yes, sir.
So at this point, what's the time frame? How long have we been married at this point? So by the time the twins come and the time we transition to Charlotte, how long have we been together at this point?
It was just
under a year.
Just under a year to transition to Charlotte.
Right.
Just over a year when the twins came along.
Correct.
Wow.
Wow.
So there's a lot of transition early on in your marriage.
So I got a story about that. That's funny.
Oh, wow. Please.
So I go to the VA, and so I go to the VA clinic. So I'm part of the support the VA hospital with all the type of stuff. So I go to the VA, I do my annual checkup, and talking to the doctor, and the doctor goes, "Well, is there anything else going on?" So I got this little twitch in my eye thing. I don't know what's going on. And he goes, "Well, just tell me about it." Well, I get this twitch, and it's just every once in a while it twitches, and the doctor goes, "Well, are you under stress?" And I was like, didn't think about too much stress. I don't think so. And I was still way down in the organization at that point in time, so it wasn't like I had a lot of work stress.
Right.
And she goes, "Oh, tell me what's happened over the last 18 months." And then it was like, all right, got out of the Navy, got married, had a ready-made family, twins came along, or moved to a different city, got a new job, twins came along, and all in the last 12 months. And I was like, whoa. Yeah. And they're like, "Well, that's why you have a twitch in your eye."
Exactly. In 12 months. That's a lot in 12 months. And y'all are married early on. So the pressure to get in, you want to go back to work. So you went back to work. And so from that point on, okay, and I'm asking these questions because I'm trying to just make y'all understand how this family dynamic happens. So you go back to work and you're doing your thing, and then there's my girl, my baby number 4, Miss Jessica. Now, okay, they are 3 years? 4 years? 2 years apart from the twin. Oh, good gracious, y'all.
3 in diapers.
3.
Ooh.
Yeah, God told me that, by the way, you're having another baby. And I'm like, God, we talked about this, how me and God had issues. And God, I'm like, look, can I just get these 2 out of diapers first, please? Like, I'm not saying no to another kid, but like, let's get these 2 out.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
Oh, wow.
So now you tell Chad.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
He said, I don't remember how I told you. I think I just said, hey, by the way, guess what? I actually made a spreadsheet at one point to tell him how we could afford another child.
Did you really?
Oh, so we did a business meeting first. Let's sit down and work these numbers.
Yeah, because we're having a
show
baby.
you.
We have another
So
baby.
I figured you would appreciate my
I
spreadsheet.
do love the spreadsheet. That's why I'm excited.
All right, so Amber's salary, daycare for 3 kids.
Right.
In Charlotte, North Carolina.
In Charlotte, North Carolina. She was effectively working for a car payment and a 401k.
Wow.
That's right. Everything else went to the daycare and
Every-
sanity, right? So car payment, 401k, and sanity is what she was working.
Now, okay, so now, how long are we going to pay this daycare now, y'all?
Jessica was 3 whenever I finally, God and I had another come to Jesus session. And Chad and I were both traveling. So I was either going to New Jersey or Europe, and Chad was going to Asia. And we would literally have to put a couple of days in between our trips,
Right.
because we would get stuck. Like, one of the airlines went on strike in Europe, and it would be effectively in America, like American Airlines going on strike. Everything shut down. And here I am in Copenhagen, like, okay, now what? My luggage is on the plane. Like, that's when I started packing like a little mini bag in my carry-on. Because I mean, like, my toothbrush, like clean underwear, everything nope, nothing moved for 2 days.
So God told you had to stop.
I was taking a bottle of ibuprofen a week, and God's like, you got to quit. You need to be
A bottle
alone.
a week?
A bottle a week.
Wow.
My stomach was tore up.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, Chad, I'm pretty sure you're in tune to this and what's going on. So what was kind of your reaction with it as far as seeing your wife stressing like this and bottle of ibuprofen a week? So,
Well, I was telling her that because we were talking about I was telling her it's time to quit.
Right.
A while before that, right? So something had to change, something had to happen, and if God was telling her to quit, then quit. That was more of a Jacob and God wrestling match on that side, to finally
And you
finally pull the trigger.
You weren't going to win, baby. He showed you several times.
I know. And to put it, so me and God had issues, obviously. And
I'm noticing a trend here. I'm noticing a
I'm
trend.
seeing what's going on
Of
here.
course he wins, but
Right.
and this isn't anything against Chad, but with my first marriage, if I hadn't had a career, I wouldn't have been able to get out.
Okay.
And so, again, nothing against Chad, but what if he turned out being somebody that I needed to get away from, and now I got 4 kids, and then what am I going to do?
Right.
So I was very resistant to that, and God's like, you got to burn that bridge.
Yeah. You was so busy being in survival mode.
Yep.
You're a just in case person.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm curious again. I'm sorry. Chad is my favorite, so I just got to keep talking to Chad.
Go ahead, go for it.
I'm just scared. No, I love you, but just Chad is a fascinating man to me. I'm sorry, he's just fascinating.
So calm.
He really is. So, as Amber stated, so this is her second 4 year into marriage. Now, had you been married before?
Nope.
So, wow. So this is all. So this everything for you at this point is
brand new.
So
how to fold the towels,
right.
how to do a checkbook, how to do everything. Right. Go ahead. How to put the toilet paper on right. Because I lived in barracks and my own apartment.
Right.
Or the ship. So I had, and being in the Navy is your personal life in the Navy can be really simplified.
Okay.
Right.
And mine was really simplified. So like the grocery store was the same list every 2 weeks.
Right.
Right. So going into a ready-made household and merging into that had its challenges for me.
And that's what I want to talk about just for a brief moment. What is that? What was that like for you? Because like you said, so Amber, okay, I love Amber, but Amber's Amber. It's like my wife. She knows what she wants. Mm-hmm. She doesn't hear well when it's not what she wants to hear. Kind of opinionated.
It's my girl.
Yeah,
it's my girl. That's right.
And not afraid to voice their opinion. So, but now you're walking into a situation where it's all new. So she's been down this road before. She's been married before. She has a kid before. She's done this before. But now you, out of the military, been a bachelor life. Now you're a ready-made father. You're a husband now. And one thing I noticed about you, you're very in tune. I noticed that about you too. Your husband is very in tune and supportive. I've noticed that about you.
Yes.
You like fighting with God, but he real supportive. Stuff you be doing.
He'd be like, okay, she gonna get this sooner or later.
So, but as she's going through this and you're going through all these transitions and you're going through all these changes, what was that road like for you?
Sometimes frustration. Sometimes I had to learn how to control my temper if I wasn't in a good situation. So
right.
it took a lot of maturing on my own behalf. I had to, right. Am I trying to be? I like to be right.
Right.
Right. I'm okay intellectually, so I like to be right. So I'd learn how to. I'd rather maintain the relationship than be right.
Oh, that's why you and Sanchez getting along. I see where this is going now.
Wow.
A lot of journaling.
Yeah.
So a lot of journaling on understanding on why I was upset in that situation.
I felt like that was an attack though, but that's okay.
I can't control if she gets maybe gets a little stubborn or something like that, right? So or gets a little upset about something. I always so what caused me to be upset in that situation, and really get to the root of that to figure out. Because right, I had my own baggage, I had my own kids' baggage, right? Right. So I just had to mature as we went along.
Wow. First of all, that's amazing that you said you journal. Do you still journal?
Oh, yeah.
Really? That is so... And I'm not trying to be funny, but it's very rare that I hear a man say that they journal.
All right. So my emotional intelligence, my ability to read a situation live is not that good. Mm-hmm. My ability to replay that back in my mind and actually understand what happened so I can be better in the future is really high. So I journal in order to figure out what caused this situation to go bad. Why did I respond that way? Why was I so upset? So that way, when that situation happens again, I'm better prepared for it.
And this is why I say he's a fascinating man.
Well, Chad, what's your profession?
I'm an executive, so I'm a business manager.
I'm gonna need you to be in counseling. You need to counsel some folks. Some men out there. You just broke that down. You need to be a counselor. Some men need you to counsel them in these areas because that's deep. That's seriously. That's really good. That's
why I say Chad is such a fascinating man.
Amber, what do you do with that?
You did well, Amber. You did well for yourself. You made a good. I'm so glad you listened to the Lord.
I got plenty of flaws. Don't worry about it.
We all do, but I'm just saying, you guys are like night and day. Like me and Sanchez, we are totally like night. I tell people and day because I tell people they be like, "Y'all podcast is so great." I said because he's a scholar and I'm the hood chick. It's gonna go well. It's just going to go well. He has the right questions. I'm just out there, just it's just what I am. So you guys are like night and day, but y'all brought this incredible, amazing family together because your family is absolutely, guys, their family, not exaggerating, is their absolutely most incredible family. And now you 20 years of going from doing all of that you guys have been through to right here at this moment, right now. And that's incredible. So when we asked you guys to come because we wanted to have tips and trips because you guys travel so much, right?
Yes.
All over the world how did you guys decide to do that with the kids though? Because you guys travel a lot with the kids. The kids have been all over the world too and ate everything in the world, which is still weirds me out. But how did you guys make that decision to take 4 kids on all these trips, and we're just going to do it. How did you guys decide to do that?
Well, first of all, it's Amber's ability to budget and manage the household
Right.
spending. So that's the first thing that's got to
Yeah.
be put on that. Because you just don't do that and not be in debt without having
Correct.
Yeah.
extremely good financial home management skills.
And how did you do
Hold on,
that?
before you, and that's the one thing I want to say to the family real quick. So everything is on the table. Understand, because we were getting to it at some point in time. You came out of the actual workforce. You became a full-time stay-at-home parent, and you were homeschooling your
CFO.
kids for a very long time too.
Jessica
Right?
for a little while,
Right.
and then she started school actually at 4 because
Okay.
she was already reading at a second grade level at 4.
Right.
Being the youngest of 4,
Right.
she wanted to do homework with everybody else because she was just as big as they were at the
Right.
kitchen table. So whenever we got her tested, they're like, "Yeah, she needs to go to school," and I'm like, "You can have her
Today.
take them all."
So we're really so you're working, but you're not working outside the home
Correct.
because being a stay-at-home mom of
You
4
the
is work.
CFO, honey.
So, but now we're doing this. Not only we're traveling, but we're doing this on basically one income.
Correct.
So I think that's when you were just saying. So that I just wanted to put that part out there so the family understood the full dynamic of
Yeah.
the amazingness of this family to be able to do
Yeah.
that. Continue, babe. I'm done. I ain't gonna say nothing else.
And my financial spirit animal and friend. So now you decide, how do you come to that conclusion? Like, I want the kids to see the world like we did because you guys were doing it before. I want the kids to see the world the way that we did. Not only that, but we're doing it on one budget. And this is the thing. I know if you've listened, and people have listened know that our means such as goal has always been to live off one budget. Only because you never know what's going to happen in corporate America or to one of us, sickness and health, whatever the case is, and to have the capability, if it happens, that we still can maintain a lifestyle. How now? Again, we're doing it, and it's just us because our kids are grown now. But you were doing it with like small children. How were you able to do that, Amber? Like what? Like you just sat down one day and was like, I can just how did you do that?
Well, let's back up a little bit. So for us, like we all grew up in an era where we didn't get to travel. Like
Right.
I don't know about you guys, but like
Right.
there was no internet. There was
No,
no
we do that.
yeah, no emails.
No, we didn't do that.
So for me growing up, I had been to Arkansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma, and I was 17. That was it. That was it. And
But we
I-
had National Geographics in the library.
And you just go past and rip a page out by mistake and put it in your little one day I'll go book.
Exactly. And I ended up being an exchange student in Australia. And that was my first time on a plane.
Wow.
And my first time going anywhere, really, right? And so I was like, my mind exploded. Like,
Right.
I can't even tell you, like, how dumbfounded I was. Like, to see the ocean for the first time at 17.
Right.
Like, even our kids have no comprehension of what that is like. And I knew how much that meant to me and how much I enjoyed those differences because even we had other exchange students from other parts of the world.
Right.
So that I went to high school with. So talking to them, their cultures, their differences, their traditions, and we would have parties for each one of their celebrations for whatever party that they wanted to have for their
Right.
holidays.
Right.
And I wanted my kids to experience that as much in person as they possibly could. So whenever we got married, that was one of the things that we had talked about, even little things like going to Epcot, where you can travel around the world and try different foods and see the culture and see the dances and see the costumes and everything.
Right.
So whenever he was working, they didn't have a corporate credit card. So we had a separate credit card that was just for his work.
Right.
And then we had our family credit card.
Right.
And you should always have a credit card that works for you. Make your money work for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so that's one of the things that we did was we had his corporate credit card was actually a Disney credit card. And so we have actually, a family of 6 has actually been to Disney for free on those points 3 times.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And it's
wow.
a good conversation topic when you're at a really expensive dinner in Asia
Oh, yes, it
and you
is.
pull out a Disney card on it. People are like, oh, Disney.
How did you get that? And what are you guys doing? Like, oh my goodness.
So that tells you how much he traveled based on how many points we had to get through Disney for
Right.
6 of us to travel.
Right.
You said you did that 3 times.
3 times, and it paid for half of our Disney cruise.
Wow. Because that's how much traveling. So you want to get a car. So the first thing, first of all, you want a budget.
Yes.
So have you always been a budgeter?
Loosely.
Loosely. Yeah. So when you decide, okay, let's backtrack for a second. So the moment that you guys decided, okay, we're going to live off one income and I'm coming home, How did that look? Did you do PowerPoint, a spreadsheet? Like, what did you have to show him? Like, look, babe, this is what's going to have to happen for this to work.
Or did Chad have to show her? Because it sounded like it was more Chad wanted her to stay home and she wanted to stay in the workforce.
So
which one was it?
I'm an intuitive decision maker.
Okay.
So for me, God was telling her to go, just do it. Right. We'll figure it out.
Right.
She's a little more on the data side, so she had to figure it out.
Which is really funny because it's really reversed now.
I'm not.
I'm like, yeah, well, I want to see numbers versus like, just do it.
Now he done switched on you?
So I handle the household budget and he handles all the long-term financial planning, like all the 401k, stocks, whatever.
Right.
So
because we could not both manage a checkbook together. But that failed early in the marriage.
very early.
Was it because we're both right all the time, or what was the hang up
We had
there?
different accounting principles.
And different accounting systems. So me being a man, I was like, well, I'm supposed to manage the checkbook. I'm not. We're husband and wife. I'm supposed to manage the checkbook.
Right.
Right.
She said, here you go. And it took me about maybe 2 weeks to screw it up. And she took it back. And then it took me a couple years after that going, honey, your process, I still can't, how she does it, I still don't get it.
Right.
Her process, I was like, your process was far superior to mine.
Ah.
We would have not been able to I would not have been able to manage the household finances as tight as she did.
So what's your case for people who are like, okay, I too want to live off one income. I too want to travel. I too want to do these things. What would be the simple thing as far as budgeting is concerned? Like, what was I know my method. I have like this weird method, but like, because first of all, I don't do spreadsheets. I am a paper person.
I'm a spreadsheet person.
I have a ledger a paper ledger that I use to pay all my bills.
Do you know I love you?
I know.
Do you know why?
Because we're kindred sisters.
Yes.
And she has it back like 20 years.
Listen, I got books upon books upon books.
This is crazy.
I got books upon books. I need what year we discussing? I can show you what we do, right? So you say, okay, we're gonna budget. These are the things that we're going to do. So how do you streamline it? Because again, we got the babies, and we want to travel, and we want to live well. We want to still live well, right? So what tips would you give? Of course, the first tip was get a credit card. If you're a credit card person, at least get one that's going to work for you. Give you that.
One of the first things she did was because she wasn't working at work all day. Right. She renegotiated all the bills. So she went through every line item and go in like cable bill, phone bill, life insurance, all that type of stuff. She just went and car insurance. She just went in and got more quotes and negotiated everything down. So she saved a bunch of money right off the bat.
Hundreds of dollars a month. Yeah. You don't even realize it until suddenly you're like, oh, what? Why didn't you tell me I could get it cheaper somewhere else?
Yeah.
Didn't have time when we're both working.
Right. So you had the time to call them and say, hey, can I get a better deal? What's a better deal for my family?
Yep.
Wow.
And of course, back then, especially, which I'm a couponer. I was a diehard couponer.
Yeah.
Sales, like if something went on sale that we used, you buy it a lot then when it went on sale and put it in the pantry. I know how much you and your pantry issues. I got that.
I still have PTSD from that.
But it saved us money, and that's what we ate off of was whatever was on sale that week. That's what we ate.
Yeah. So you budgeting. So you're looking at the sales and you're budgeting that way as far as if we're going to eat something, it's going to be on sale. Period. We're going to make my menu. So did you guys meal prep? Did y'all how did y'all do that?
It was all no offense because he was working all the time, so it was I was doing everything.
Right.
I would do the shopping while the kids were at school. I would do like coupons, is the expense of buying a newspaper at the time worth all the coupons that we got?
That was a discussion.
It really was.
Because the Charlotte Observer got to the point where there was hardly anything in it.
Right.
But the coupons, at that time, the value of the coupons was worth the
paying for the paper.
Paying for the paper. And that's before all the coupon apps because you didn't have smartphones yet. Right?
No, you just had the big
exactly.
thick Sunday paper. It was like $1.25, I think, $1.75, something like that.
Listen.
Yeah, I remember those days.
So she did all the coupon clipping and had this nice little file and folder of
yes, I remember those days.
Right.
I remember those. Me too. Go on Southern Savers and see what's on sale. Girl, we was together. We was together with that thing.
And if we went out to eat, I'm sorry, go ahead, babe.
No. Go ahead.
And if we went out to eat, there's CharlotteOnTheCheap.com for those of you who live here. And then there's Kids Eat Free days. And since we had 3 under 3, they could eat free all the time. So if we would go out to eat, we'd spend $20 for us and the kids ate free and you could go have dinner. So it was like
Wow.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. And as time went on, the kids got older and stuff. And so how did you guys, because how many states and places have the children been to? Let's talk about that for a minute.
I think we're down. We haven't been to the Northeast. We were going to go this summer, but the COVID restrictions made us change our plans. And North Dakota.
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 left that they haven't been to.
That's it?
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
They've been in more than I've been.
Right. And so you said to yourselves, okay, I want them to have the experience. I want them to have this. So now are you, like most people I talk to that do it, they go like, right now they're paying for 2022 or 2023, which makes it so much easier. Is that something that you guys had planned out that way, or are you spontaneous people? Or are you planning out for the next year?
I'm a planner. COVID obviously like jacked that up though.
Right, right.
We were supposed to take a Mediterranean cruise last year. Well,
right.
We all know how that went.
Yep.
And that was, so there's always deals out there. And last year was the first time that I had booked tickets to Barcelona, which is where our cruise was supposed to leave out of. And it was on a Expedia type platform, but it was a cheaper website. And our plane tickets to Barcelona were like $300 cheaper per person. And times 6 people, I mean, that adds up.
That
right?
adds up.
Well, once COVID hit, they're like, yeah, sorry. And I'm like, no, I'm going to need that money back.
Like today.
they're like, nah, we can't do that. And it took me 7 months to get all of that money back.
Really? So you fought them for 7 months.
You should see my emails. Yeah, it was very unkind towards the end because
Right.
I was done.
Not passively fought, actively fought,
Just aggressively fought.
aggressively.
It was thousands of dollars, and they were just like, "Yeah, no, sorry, it's not our fault that there was a pandemic."
Yeah,
And
I'm
I'm
gonna need
like,
my money back.
yeah, I'm still gonna need my money back. Thanks.
Right. I'm sorry. It wasn't my fault either. So I didn't cancel. Okay.
Exactly.
I wanted to go. Thank you very
They're
much.
like, well, you can still come, and I'm like, what? Swim over because there's no flights.
Right.
I mean, I'm not exactly sure.
How am I going to get there, ma'am? Thank you. So now the experience, what do you believe that so far, because I know they're going to continue to travel, do you believe that traveling has given the kids though?
Oh, by far. Their mind has absolutely been opened for all the stuff that they've done, all the things that they have seen, all the experiences of local people. Even Dawson and Savannah and I went to Peru and climbed Machu Picchu in 2019.
Right.
And it was an educational first tour. And so it was very much not necessarily the touristy places.
Right.
And that was probably one of the coolest things that we've ever done.
So you did with the people from the area, stayed with them. Now, how do you choose those places? I'm sorry, babe.
Well,
You're good. Go ahead.
This is actually, so EF Tours is actually, since it's an educational first, then you go to like these hole in the wall places where this one lady was making fermented corn drinks that.
Fermented corn drinks.
Let me just tell you, it was not my favorite, but you had to and you literally pass around a mason jar and pre-COVID,
Right.
everybody passes around the mason jar and you have to drink it and you can't leave any in there or it's bad luck on the village.
Huh?
And
They just gonna have bad luck. The village just gonna have. I'll pray for the village, but they just gonna have bad luck.
I'm willing to lay hands on the village if that's what you need me to do.
it was awful. Dawson actually liked it, but it was.
What exactly does a fermented corn drink taste like?
It was not good. I'm not.
Can't even express it.
I can't. And they do a lot of stuff with like egg whites in your drink, like in your lemonade. It's like whipped lemonade with egg whites.
Why?
I don't.
For the protein.
And where's this again?
This is in Peru.
Oh.
It's a lovely place, but I'm sorry. Okay. We love you, Peru. We love you. Y'all do stuff different.
And we get to, our rule is you try pretty much everything once, right?
Right.
So we had guinea pig and alpaca while we were in Peru.
I'm sorry, you said guinea pig
And
and
this
alpaca.
is why I told
Like
you
the
guys,
little- like
I
the little-
don't travel with them.
Once you take the fur off, how big is that thing?
It's not very big. Let me tell you.
But we eat squirrel anyway, so it's
So
no big
yeah,
deal.
so it's,
Well, from Arkansas and Iowa, that doesn't surprise
squirrel's
me.
good.
My
But-
granddaddy, that's the one thing. I'm sorry. The one thing my grandfather, I used to walk into his refrigerator and like little things would be like, there'd be squirrel in there. I was like, granddad, why is there a paw looking at me in your freezer? I'm sorry. I just want to say that. Continue.
No,
I know.
it's real.
Well, it's like, you know how you can go to like a seafood restaurant and pick out your lobster?
Right.
Well, they had a little, I don't know, condominium over here that had all your little guinea pigs in it, and you could pick out your guinea pig that you wanted to eat, and then you'd come back 30 minutes and they'd have your guinea pig ready for you.
Does it taste like chicken?
Actually, the one that we had was like in this really cool open air artisan market, whatever. And they
Right.
also had like fire empanadas, which were absolutely amazing.
Right.
But the guinea pigs itself, they had like this really dry rub on it, and it was like a really thick dry rub, and so you couldn't even taste anything other than the spices, and it was not enjoyable.
You ate the guinea pig too?
He didn't get to go.
So this was a school trip for Savannah and Dawson for college credit.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
Jessica and I stayed home, and we're forever the Peru Knot Club.
The Peru Knot
The
Club.
Peru Knot Club? Not gonna ever go? Is that what I mean?
No, it's just that was our thing. That's
They
what
felt
we're-
bad because they got left at home.
So we made our own club, the Peru Knot.
The Peru Knot Club. I like
and
it.
Jessica and I were supposed to go to Galapagos this past year.
Right.
And we all know how that went.
With the turtles.
With the turtles.
Yeah.
Right.
That didn't happen. So now we're scheduled to go to Iceland in March.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And is there a determination to always travel? Is that what that is? Or to make sure that you put your dots on everything on the map of the world? Like what is it what is it for you guys?
It's to make sure that they have experiences in this life that will connect them better to people, and to never have their little world be this tiny little, Charlotte, North Carolina, as awesome
Right.
it is. Like even from where we lived in the Ballantine area to where we live in Mint Hill
Right.
is a complete different change for them.
We call it
Yeah.
the Ballantine bubble.
It
Yeah.
is because it really is a Valentine bubble.
That's what we've been
Right.
living.
It really
so you
is.
already know.
So not everybody in the world lives like us.
Right.
Right.
So it's
Or them.
or
They don't get a brand new Range Rover when they turn 16. That's
Right.
not how we roll.
So,
Yeah.
so it's a whole, open their eyes for more culture, more understanding. And you've interacted with all the kids.
Oh, yeah.
They're able to stand up and hold a conversation with anybody.
Yes,
with anybody.
So that is part of that because
Very down to earth kids.
they do that
Amazing.
globally. So Dawson is our foodie, right? So anytime we travel, he picks a restaurant. So he's
Right.
calling for reservations. He's
Really?
right, talking ahead. He's looking at reviews, right? So it's just every one of them has their ability to engage with whoever.
Now
I
the
need a
part that
question.
I don't want the family to miss is that understand the conversation we're having right now. We're talking to a couple that's been together decades.
Yeah.
They didn't get here overnight.
Right.
They haven't been traveling around the world overnight.
Right.
So please don't compare where you are now to what you're hearing from
Right,
them.
absolutely.
Because it didn't start with their continent hopping and going eating guinea pig in Peru.
I don't know why.
It wasn't you have to start where you can start.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to ask for both of you guys. So for the new couple, they're just getting married, they're having to live off two incomes, they're not at a place where they can put a whole lot of money to the side at one time.
Yeah.
What would be your advice for that couple? How do you start? Where do you start to be able to be world travelers like you guys are?
Yeah.
Well, for us, you have to be honoring of God. And our first 10% goes to God, period.
That's right.
And as hard as that was, especially back in the day when we have 4 little kids and, especially after I quit my job, you're sitting there and you're like, God, I don't know where this 10% is going to come from because I got to pay my bills.
Right.
And that was the first thing that we had to make sure that we did.
That was an entertaining journey.
It was a harsh journey at first. It was like forcing myself to write that check.
And then net versus gross.
Yeah.
Right. Then you finally get to the spot where you're tithing on net, and then you're like, we got to go to the gross line.
Ooh, that just changed everything.
we haven't been doing it right yet. Oh, no. Right. So
Yeah.
that's the first thing. And that was
Yeah.
and God was very favorable. Right. So with Amber's ability to handle the house,
Yeah.
my ability to focus more at work and my career and go get a master's degree and just
Yeah.
make myself as good at my job as I possibly could, or my chosen profession, which is leadership.
Right.
Right. That, and God just showed favor in that. That allowed me to take promotion after promotion, which then provided more income. But initially it was just be intentional about your time off.
Right.
Right. Go, right. We're going to take time off as a family. She was way more intentional than me. She did all the planning.
Right.
And, but all right, we're going to take some time off. And if it was, the first time we went to Disney, we weren't on the Disney property, right? But we
Right.
took time off, and then we said, the next time I want to do that experience. Well, then you got to, if you want to do that experience in 2 years, now you got to start saving for it,
Yeah.
right? And plan ahead.
Yeah. So it was the planning.
The planning.
Were you guys ever scared? And I'm not talking about the traveling part, but were you guys ever scared when you was like, we have to go down to one income?
Oh.
Like it's inevitable.
Oh, yeah. Scared to death.
Yeah. but did it anyway.
Did it anyway.
Oh,
I knew God had our back.
The tax returns look cool when you track all the tax returns. They're going, they're going along. You know, it's my finger, but all of a sudden, doop, the 1 year that she she
Everything
retired,
went in half.
and it went
Right.
boom, and then it came
Started
up out of
back
there.
Yeah.
Which was part about me quitting work was because his job after I quit work was for the, not the adjuster,
That was an auditor.
the auditor. And so he would literally travel around the world.
Right.
But if I hadn't have quit my job, he wouldn't have been able to take that job.
And that set me up for the next job.
Wow.
So I would have been resentful if I was forced to quit my job so he could take his job.
Right.
So God made me quit before then.
So he knew.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's traveling and then he's getting his master's degree and you're budgeting and meal prepping and taking care of the family. How was that for you? Because sometimes, you know, if one is doing something and you're like, I should be the one in corporate America. I should be doing this, right? But the thing I'm hearing from you was like, you was like the CFO. You had your own company too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think people understand that when you're whether it be Chad or you, whoever stayed home, that is the business. That is the family business. That is the company. It's not easy to do, right? So most people like, because sometimes people like, I just want to be in corporate America, and sometimes corporate America is not. You got to be built for corporate America, first of all, like literally, especially like you, because you've climbed the ladder, right? So there's a persistence, there's a character you have to climb, because it's just the same way he climbs the corporate ladder. I don't have the tenacity for that. I just want to go. I'll quit. I'm just not. I will. Y'all doing the most.
You don't
Okay,
like
I'm
being
gonna.
told what to do.
No, I'm just gonna go home.
She
I'm
don't
just
like
gonna go
being told what
home
to
and
do.
we gonna figure this thing. I'm spontaneous. I'll quit, baby. I left the job, and my husband is good. He be like, okay, then. Yep.
I'm like
okay.
you, Chad. When it comes to that, we'll just figure it out.
Yeah, he's very much like,
just
if
figure
this
it
is
out.
what's gonna happen, we're gonna figure it out, you know,
But-
and do it.
I am curious though, because I think that's a part that a lot of people miss sometimes. It's not that you wanted to come out of the workforce. You made the decision that was best for your family,
exactly.
at that time, because left up to your own devices, you liked working,
Right.
you like being in, you like having that responsibility.
Right.
So personally, for you, taking Chad out the equation, taking the kids out the equation,
I would have definitely loved to stay in.
yeah, personally for you, Amber, what was that journey like for you once you listened to God and you had the conversation with your husband and you guys determined this is the best for you? What was that like for you to actually make that decision to come out?
It was harsh because, and I'm not saying that I'm all that. You have to understand, I'm from Arkansas. I got married and got pregnant, and I never finished my degree.
Right.
So, and I was in transportation, so that's a man's field, right?
Right.
And I had busted my butt to work my way up to being general manager.
Right.
And so my boss's boss was our CFO of all of North America
Okay.
for the largest, steamship line in the world.
Right.
And so for me to quit, it was like I gave up everything it would be like running a marathon and then stopping 10 feet short and being like, all right, I'm done.
Right.
Like, I just feel like I didn't finish what I had started.
Right.
And if I did try to go back at some point, I never finished my degree. So it would be even harder for me to try to get back to where I was. So I gave my notice. Again, our CFO, who was like my work dad, he came downstairs and he was like, I need you to take that back. And I'm like, I can't. And he was like, no, I'm going to need you to take that back. He's like, I'm refusing your resignation. I'm going to give you a month off to figure out what you want to do, and then you come back after your sabbatical.
Right.
And I'm like, but you don't understand. He's like, no, I'm telling you, this is how it's going to be. Right. He's like, I'm going to give you 2 weeks to wrap up whatever you're working on and hand it off, and then you have a month after that, and then we'll talk.
Wow.
So, I mean, again, and I'm not saying I'm all that, but for this little girl from Arkansas with no college degree to get this, I was like, dang, should I really do it? Like, God, are you sure about this? Like,
right.
Anyway, so it was a harsh decision, but whenever he called me a month later, we're actually in Iowa in a cornfield with the kids, and he's like, so you coming back? And I'm like, nope, sorry, can't do it.
This is it.
That was it.
This is it. One thing that I like, and I hope that the family is listening to, is the fact that you guys communicated, but not only that, but you guys truly stepped out on faith and trusted God on every single decision that you guys made. Like, you guys like, well, God said it, we just gonna, okay, I'm gonna do it.
That's easier in post review.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. But when you're going through that process, right?
Because it sounds like Amber done fought God on
I did.
all the way. Just every decision she finds.
Even 2016, it's like his company had split, and there was one side, there are two sides, and so he went to the American side versus the other side,
Right.
And so whenever him and his American side of the company did not necessarily see eye to eye on everything, so they thought maybe it was best that they part ways. And we were actually planning a trip to go back to Australia to see my family. And Lindsay was graduating college, and we had planned everything. Everything was already paid for. All the spending money was saved up because we were spending 3 weeks. Because we were traveling halfway around the world.
Right.
Wow.
Like, you got to stay.
Right.
To make it worthwhile. So Chad's calling me, and he's like, so hey,
In September.
in September, when we're leaving in December, and he's like, I think I'm quitting. I'm sorry. You know we only got one like paycheck right now, right?
It's yours. It's yours. It's yours.
He's like, it's fine. I got this. And I'm like, are you sure? Do you want to go back and pray about it some more? Because I mean, I'm just saying, one paycheck,
Right.
And then we're like, so that was like a 4-month notice. So I actually got to pick my last day, which is the day before Lindsay was graduating. So,
Wow.
which is the day before we're going on vacation for
Right.
3 weeks. So I picked the time out, but then it was like, oh crap, I went into the company as a production supervisor. Now I'm leaving as an executive. My network, right? How the heck do you even find a job?
Right.
Wow.
Right, so I just started networking, all that type of stuff. And then I thought I found a good one that fit me.
Right.
It was north. And then I brought it to her, and then she's like, that's what, no. And I was like, honey, how far north of the Mason-Dixon line are you willing to move?
stops right there.
And then she said, well, Charlotte's a good place. I was like, well, my network wasn't set up to find another job in Charlotte.
Right.
So that was, and I was like, oh crap, now I got to find a job at an executive level in Charlotte.
In Charlotte.
3 months.
And 543.
Go.
And go. Wow.
So funny story. We would go to Australia, which was kind of nice, not having to work while we're on vacation,
Best
other than
vacation
checking
ever.
the email for the occasional job search or whatever.
Right.
And then he comes back, and he was talking to his old boss, who they just went up for breakfast or something. And he was like, yeah, so we fired a guy. I'm replacing him, and I need you to take my spot. But it was from the old company that was not the American side, from the split.
Right.
So he had to have left this job in America, or the American company,
Yeah.
to
Right.
be able to take the other side of the split.
Wow.
Or it would have been like stealing from the company.
Right,
Right.
because it was still within the deal window. So the other company that I was leaving had to review and approve any new position I took. And it was in that window where that wasn't allowed.
Right.
But because I was so upfront and honest with the other company and gave them a very long window going, listen, when this is all done, I don't fit with you. Does it make you wrong or me right or vice versa? It just makes it different.
Right.
I gave them such a long, and of course, while integrating, right, I worked my butt off and did everything I could possibly could, serving the new company that was the owner.
Right.
Got to have more, world needs more Daniels, fewer Davids.
Yeah.
And, all right. And so because of all that, I could prove, or we all proved that, right? I did not leave one side to go in the other.
Right.
Wow.
So it was a complete 100% God. And then I actually had another job waiting for me for another company before we went on vacation. So with all that, I had a job in hand waiting for me before we went on vacation. When I got off of vacation, I was allowed to go on the other side, back on the other side of the company, and continue the career like nothing ever
Like nothing
stopped.
ever
It was like a
happened.
complete God move.
You know what I
Listen.
keep hearing from both of them
Yeah.
is that it's not that you're not afraid. You just don't let fear stop you. You just, you move in the fear.
Yeah.
Because everything that I've heard you guys talk about since
Yeah.
we've started this particular conversation, I mean, Chad, like I said, from you going from being a Navy man to coming out to a ready-made family with not having a job and not knowing where you were going, and Amber, you being the strong-willed woman who I like work and this is what I do, and coming out to this better for my family, to going halfway across. You went halfway across the world by yourself with just your kids.
Yeah.
And it's scary. It's scary things you guys do. It's courageous things you guys do. But it's scary, but you don't let the fear stop you.
Yeah.
Because there's no way. And I mean, we've done it before, but
Yeah.
it's not a pleasant conversation to have to come to your wife and be like, you know what, babe, I know right now I'm the only one working. I know right now we have kids in this lifestyle that we're accustomed to.
Right.
Like food.
Like food,
Yeah.
like electric.
Yeah.
But this job is not a fit for me
Yeah.
anymore.
Absolutely.
And to have that courage and that faith to step out and be like, okay, God is telling me to walk this journey. I'm going to step out here. I have to believe that God has me.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have laid this on my heart if this is not what he wanted.
Yeah.
And then we go.
And I think the
And
beauty
then
of
I love that about you
I think the
guys.
beautiful part about it as well, and I hope the family hears, is that you guys have a partnership, right? And so you not only did you walk out on faith and take fear with you like a pocketbook, like come on fear, because I'm gone, but you have such a partnership that y'all believed in each other and y'all believed that you could do this thing together. Like you really believed, like you said, he's like, because when we talked about the first thing, he said, well, how this happened was because of Amber. She did A, B, C, D. There was no other way to do
She
this.
laid it all out.
Had she not did this thing, right? And for you, she's saying, had I not did this thing, you wouldn't be able to do your thing, and you have done it and kept your promise of what you would do for your family. Like kept his promise. He said, I will. He said, I got this, and he has shown you that he has had it all the time. That's a God thing, because you God did a partnership and say, God, we put you first, right? Across everything, we're going to put you first, and then we're going to communicate. And we're going to stay on track that what we're doing, we want to do for our children. The goal, I tell everybody all the time, I said, in order for this to work, you have to sit down and make a life design or what you want your life to look like. So if you're saying that your life design is to travel, then you should have an account for that. You should be saving for that. Don't do things that are not a part of your life design, because it takes you out of order, right? I always tell people you have to, what you guys did was, had a life design. One thing we want to do is teach our children that this little bubble that you live in is not everything, that this little spot, that there's more people who need, there's a whole big world out there, and you made room in your life design for that. So everything that you guys did was geared to that, right? You said, okay, life design, we're going to live off one paycheck. Okay, what we're going to do and break. And now everything that we do is to make sure that we continuously be able to use this, not only pay God first, but be able to live the lifestyle that we chose to live with this one income. You know what I'm saying? And so everything that I hear you guys saying is about a life design. You design this life for yourself. And you worked on this, like it's like when you get a blueprint for your house, you be like, well, I want the living room to go over there. And you guys are saying, this is what I want for every part of my house. This is what I want for our lives. So now my question to you guys is, what's your design for your life? Because your kids are older now and they are leaving in 3 years, like you guys said. All right, what's your new life design? What else can y'all conquer? Like as a couple, like what else is there for you guys to conquer? Seriously, what else is there for you guys? Have you thought about it yet?
Eventually, grandbabies, I hope.
You really can't conquer grandbabies. They gonna have to do that on their own. But it's nothing like it.
I know.
I got a feeling there's gonna be some mad parents though, because I got a feeling you just gonna be taking the grandbabies.
I already warned them. Like they're not even married yet, and I've already warned them. Yeah. I just like, hey, up front. That's all. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, just coming to get them. Just coming. Just don't. What we said is that we don't need no diapers, no clothes, no stroller. We got our own stuff.
Just give me the baby.
Just give me the baby.
Give me the baby.
So we haven't talked too much about that. So I'm like my perspective, right? So Amber and I have never been alone together.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we've been alone, but it's like, Lindsay's always been there, and I love Lindsay to death, man.
Right.
I loved her to death.
Right.
But we always had somebody there.
It's always been a kid.
Kid and a ready-made house.
Since the marriage, yeah.
So for me, this is a whole new journey of how to be married and not have children around. Because I've never experienced that. Just like you never experienced having a baby, I never experienced that. So so I'm actually reaching out to, so I always look at, right, so I like wisdom. I like either books or people that can breathe wisdom. So I've actually reached out to quite a few of my, men friends who are like a decade older that have already gone through the transition to empty nesters.
Right.
So so I'm getting advice now because if you can learn from somebody else, and you don't always have to make the mistake yourself.
Exactly.
Now. You can still learn from somebody else and still make the mistake. But anyway, you try to make if you can learn is better. So I've been reaching out there. What does that look like? Right? How's that transition going? And getting some different information. One, I'd love for her to be able to travel with me as I travel on work. Mm-hmm. But what I don't know, and what I've always had this big thing on my heart, is when this woman is set free, because she can put ordinance on target, right, where she does not have to worry about shopping for everything in the house and all that type of stuff. I don't know what God has in store for her and how big of an impact she's going to make on the planet. So we can make these plans, and I love to travel, and I want to have, learn how to be alone. Right. But I just don't know what has God, and I'm looking forward to it. What does she conquer in the next 20 years?
Yeah.
Right? It's right. So,
do you see yourself possibly going back into the workforce once the kids are gone?
No, God has put something on my heart, but I'm not sure how it's going to get accomplished. So
Okay.
I'm kind of still putting that together
Got you.
before it gets out there. But it's going to be quite the undertaking if it comes to fruition. But God keeps like keeping me up at night with it.
Yeah.
So
then it has to be done.
The one thing that I have personally learned about you and your wonderful family over the years of being around you and encountering you, once you guys put your mind to something,
Oh my goodness,
it's gonna happen.
Oh my goodness.
No matter what's the undertaking,
From
no matter
the little
what,
baby to the oldest.
no matter what it looks like, no matter how hard it is, once you put your mind to it, it's
Yeah.
gonna happen. So I'm like Chad in that aspect. I'm excited and curious to see too,
Yeah.
what that journey is gonna look like, because whatever it is, it's gonna be huge.
Yeah.
just because of who you are. So I want to see myself.
I'm excited to hear Chad's excitement for you.
You picked up on that too, right?
Yeah, I'm excited. He because when he says I'm reaching out to people so I know what to do, but my biggest excitement is when the kids are gone, what will my wife conquer? And he's excited for you. I'm excited that he's excited for you, Amber. Like
this is the first time I've heard that. So
that's
I'm curious.
incredible. That's incredible. That is really, really incredible.
This is what I love. And
Yeah.
get off topic just for a moment.
Yeah.
And I know you said earlier, you have your flaws or whatever. We're all human.
We all human. We all got flaws.
No one is perfect. But I admire you as a husband and as a man, especially after having this conversation.
Yeah.
I have a whole new respect.
I thought I really love you, but I love you more now.
I
really love her.
I've
She already know
always
that.
respected who you are.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. I always gauge a man, especially a married man, by his family.
Yeah.
And anytime I've ever encountered your family, I always know. They always know they love. They always know they're protected. They always, I've seen her upset, but I've never seen her not full of joy. And that comes from you. But now that I've sit down and have this conversation, I have a whole new respect because there's been a common theme out of everything we've talked about. And it's always, is my wife okay? What do I have to do to make sure my wife is okay in whatever situation it is? If I got to be the stay-at-home dad and she fulfills her dream, do you know what?
I'm
just going to be the
ponytails.
stay-at-home dad, and I'm going to learn how to do
I'm doing
ponytails.
ponytails.
We do not want to. That was fine. That was fine for a season. I'm not sure we want to reverse that one again.
But it's what I've always heard in everything you've said. It's been, like I said, it's been an underlying theme of what is best for my wife.
Yeah.
And just the love that you have for her and the respect that you have for her and the admiration, it's you can hear it as you speak. And like my wife said, just the fact that and Amber said it's the first time she's heard it, but just the joy and the happiness of seeing what God is going to do through her in this next journey and season of her life.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I think sometimes that get lost with husbands because we want to have this bravado and we want to live in this, I'm supposed to be, you said it earlier, I was supposed to be the man, so I'm supposed to do this. And understanding, yeah, but she does it better, so let her do it.
Yeah.
And if more husbands would understand that it's not about the manhood, it's about the partnership.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I know, Amber is a force to be reckoned with. But she respects you as her husband.
And she trusts you.
And she trusts you as her husband.
You.
And the only reason she does that is because you made it possible for her to do
Trust
that.
you, yeah.
And so I like I said, this is just me. I've always respected you, but I just have a huge amount. I didn't think it was possible to respect you and admire you more than I did already, but I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think that to see that she trusts you, right? And that she believes in you and what you say you're going to do. And the fact that you trust her and was like, I don't know what she do with the money, to be honest.
She could be like Angela. She could be embezzling.
I do not embezzle.
I swear my wife is embezzling the funds out here.
Well, there are some arguments on that one. When I want to buy something, she goes, well, we don't live extravagantly. You guys know, right? We stayed in the same house for 18 years that we bought on a production supervisory salary, right? So we didn't upscale the house, right? I drive a Honda Civic, right? Because it's paid for. My kids get in an accident. Yeah, I'm kind of okay with it, right? I can replace it, right? So we don't live
right,
all that.
right.
And that allows that frugalness and everything else intentionally allows us to take trips, right? So that's what when you're planning your life. that was intentional.
Yeah, yeah.
But there are some times I'm like, I really want to buy that, and she's like, we can't afford that. I'm like, I know what I make.
You just don't know how expensive your kids are.
I just don't know where it all goes.
Yes, like that's what you're like. Where did the money go?
I feel the same
so
way.
you trust her with your finances, right?
Yep.
You get an allowance and you can get whatever you want.
No, I'm just saying though, but it's I don't know if it happens in your home, Chad, but in my home, it's like if I want to purchase something, the money's not there to do it. But anytime she want to buy something miraculously, she's able to finagle the numbers and get whatever she wants.
No,
I'm trying to figure out where all this money coming from.
So I agree with that statement.
What?
I can
Wait.
I can empathize with that.
No.
However, would you rather be right or maintain the relationship?
No, I'm good with maintaining the relationship. She say no, I walk away. I mutter under my breath, but I walk away.
No, this is a situation. We both get allowance. There's really nothing that I need. Like I really feel like
Give me your allowance then.
no,
this is
that's
stuff out here I
this
want.
is a situation. He gets his allowance. Maybe 4 days. He good. I give him 4 days. When my max allowance come, I still got money from the last allowance. So I can, when I really want something, I can go get it.
Because I had to wait 29 days to get what I wanted.
You
So
did
now
not
it's time to get it. I only get allowance once a month.
Yes, but
every 30
hold
days.
on to it. We get the same allowance, the same amount of money, Amber. Same amount of money.
I know.
Whatever.
Yet here he is, and so I always tell him, I said, I don't need, like, it's like as I get older, or because we really want to be minimalist, but the practice of minimalism, not just the whole I'm only gonna wear a black shirt and he gonna wear a white one and some jeans. That is not where we're going with that. And a tiny house. We're not doing that. We want to live well, but we do want to live where we don't have so much stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so we've been working on, like you said, being frugal, having the car. My car is paid for. We don't have to, all those things. And so, but the allowance thing, when we started doing the allowance thing, was because of him, because he's like, I never can get what I want. Because first his allowance was $20. I'm just.
Can we be honest? My allowance was $10.
It was $20.
Chad, I'm gonna talk to you for a moment.
It was $20.
I was a grown man. I was only allowed $10.
It was $20,
and it wasn't $10 a week. It was $10 a month.
It was $20.
And she told me that if I buy lunch with that $10, I'm just gone. I ain't got no more money for the rest of the month. I had an issue with that. I was working 50 hours a week. I had an issue with only getting $10 a month.
It was
I'm just putting that out.
I can see where that was an argument.
Yeah,
It was $20.
And she keeps saying $20 like that's something.
It was $20. So we
You give your kid $20.
We bumped our allowance up, but I don't feel like I don't need anything. I don't want anything, right? But he's into action figures and all this other stuff.
I got my record collection.
His record collection,
figures.
so it
That's
goes
all
fast.
I got in life. I ain't got nothing else.
So I'm just saying.
I ain't got nothing else.
I'm just saying.
You have a beautiful wife that completes you.
She does. She completes me.
Thank you, Amber.
She's also a pain sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
She absolutely completes me.
Yes, but you complete it though. You complete it.
It's a complete pain.
It hurts when that rib goes back in, doesn't it?
Yes, sir, especially when she broke it.
Yes, complete.
Unfortunately, we'll get into that point in time, though.
Yes, but okay, so time.
Yeah, we're
getting
to that time.
Oh my goodness.
I want to be respectful of everyone's time.
Yeah, I hate that we almost
But
almost over.
yeah, I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed this conversation. There's a couple of different things you guys have said, and one thing you just said, Chad. Also, it's no matter how much money you make, don't live above your means.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
And how? Because the question is, well, how do you do this? How do you travel? How do you? Because first of all, you make intentional decisions. You said that earlier. She making intentional decisions about where your money's going,
right?
How you handling your money,
right?
Not living above your means. Just because you can afford the BMW,
right?
Do you really need the BMW? Is it you driving a BMW now with that $300, with that $400 and $500 insurance, or do I get to take my family
to Europe?
To Europe,
right?
You ask yourself those questions.
Yeah. You what I hear too is walking by faith, believing God, putting God first as well, making a plan for your family. Of course, plans can change, things can change, of course, but at least you're being intentional on what you're trying to do.
The best laid plans of mice and men. Exactly.
So you're being intentional with that. Getting a great credit card that's going to give you the benefits that you need, right? Couponing, because people still coupon, by the way. I still coupon, not as much, but couponing and negotiate. See, I never thought about negotiating those things that you pay for. One big thing is going down your account and make sure you're not paying for subscriptions that you don't even utilize, which a lot of people do. They pay for stuff they don't even use. That's saving money that could be going to something else as well, So now, because I know we got to end this. I just love talking to you guys. are you teaching your children about money and finances and how to do that? Are you
I was just thinking about that. So Savannah that child will squeeze a penny till, she is the tightest out of all of them. I won't even tell you how much money she has saved over the summer working at Auto Bell with her tips. But let me tell you, that child, she rolling in it.
She's rolling in it.
She's rolling in it.
She's okay. She's okay.
Dawson wanted a pair of shoes when we moved to the new house last year, and we needed a bridge across the creek so I could get my 4x4 across.
Right.
And I was like, you're a teenager. I ain't buying you no $200 pair of shoes. You got your own money. And he's like, how about I build you a bridge? And I'm like, all right. So he built us a bridge. I'm just saying, he got his pair of shoes because he saved me thousands of dollars.
No, and family, I need you to understand. don't envision like a little stick.
Cute little bridge.
Don't envision that at all.
We're talking about a bridge.
I need you to go to whatever interstate you live by. Look at the overpass. And that's the type of bridge that this young man built for his mother in the backyard.
Yeah. This is the kind of kids they gave birth to. These are these children.
He needed a permit from the city, the blueprints. He had to call some people to check what lines were buried. So understand what he did.
Right. So he got his sneakers. So now, do you sit down with them and do you talk about that? Do you talk about like budgeting? Do you talk about Roth IRAs and stocks and all that good stuff? Do you sit down? Because I know that people might think, oh, they're young. I think they're not too young. I wish I could teach Pooh at 3. Would be together on this situation.
You can. So actually, Chad started it whenever the kids were really little. And we realized that 3-4-year-olds, you can't sweep or dust with anything. We get that. But it was the concept of you have to work and here you get your allowance, whatever, 50 cents, whatever it was that they would get a week. And they had a box and they would have a tithe, they had an investment, and they had keep.
Yeah.
And so even whenever they were really little, and then as they got older, they ended up having, at 10, they had $100 in their investment box or something.
Oh, cute.
And then, so they went and they bought stock.
Right.
They got to make their own decisions of what do you like? Do you want Disney? Do you want Coke? Do you want whatever? Too bad they didn't pick Amazon. And, I know. But so they actually have their own investment accounts. And they actually spend their money now to go into those investment accounts and buy additional stock.
Yes.
Or Dawson and Savannah, now being 18, have both opened up their own IRAs.
Right. Because as soon as you get a W-2, you can open up an IRA.
Yes,
so
you
the
can.
first time they're W-2, do you want to open up an IRA? Because you can open up an IRA for the amount they were W-2 that year. So right off the bat, 16, get an IRA going.
Because you have to teach them to get it. One thing I would we're trying to get is a Roth IRA for Pooh, so he's going to work for us because that's the only way you can actually do it or whatever. So he's like a little brand for Crenshaw Corner. But to even then, we had to figure out how much do we need to save. Forget what his parents are doing, but how much do we have to save to put in to make sure that he has a certain amount that we thought he should have by the time he's 18 years old. And I think so for you guys to do it so young like that too, a lot of parents need to do that as well. That's why I was asking to tell parents to do that, start doing that now to show them the possibilities,
Do you still do the book thing?
Yes.
I love it.
$10 a book.
I love it.
Tell the family about that.
There's certain books like financial books. It's like how to get ready for college, building a better story brand, whatever the book may be that Chad and I have picked up on.
Right.
And it's $10 a book. And the kids are like, at this point, they're like, I make more money doing whatever else. So it's kind of died, but it's still out there. But yeah, there for a while, Savannah was reading A Golfer and a Millionaire when she was 8.
And our oldest could quote Zig Ziglar.
Yes.
Got to have them goals.
Yes.
So you got to get them into self-improvement.
Exactly.
How you are now is not how you need to be.
exactly. Thinking because you're gonna get older and you need to be ready.
It's amazing. It's just like I said. It's living not living a fearless life, but it's knowing how to operate in a fear. And I love it. And what you guys just said. And yes, reading Dr. Seuss is cool. I still love One Fish, Blue Fish, Red Fish, Two Fish. I still love that right there.
That's wonderful, baby.
But if you can incentivize your kids to read Zig Ziglar, to read, your guy, what's your guy?
Which one?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, yeah.
Books like that at a young age. But I don't know about you guys. I'm gonna talk about me. Growing up, we never talked about money.
Nope.
Never.
Growing up, we never talked about finances. We never talked about how to save and how to have your money work for you and just not work for your money. We never had those conversations.
Traveling the world.
We never.
Yeah.
We never had the most I did growing up because I'm from this area. The most I did was go to South Carolina to go to a family reunion. You know, that was it.
Camp Thunderbird. Is Camp Thunderbird in Charlotte?
But it's in North Carolina.
Okay,
it's
so
in
North
Lake
Carolina.
Wylie.
Okay,
So
got
it's
it.
still
Got it.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing for me going to Camp Thunderbird
Yeah,
growing up.
yeah.
You know, so the fact that we're able to do this, so that's why I love you guys, because this is something that you've instilled in your kids, and it's something you touched on earlier as well. Because I feel like the only way we can build bridges between each other is to truly understand each other. And the only way you do that, you have to understand somebody's culture.
Right.
Because one thing you said I love, because you guys travel, you don't go to like what's on the brochure. You go to the real.
Yeah.
What the real people are doing. Like you said, the hole in the walls. What the
Yeah.
real people are doing. The people that live here. That's the only way you're going to truly learn them and learn their culture and learn about them.
Right.
And that's the one thing I love about your kids, like you said, because your kids will sit down and have any
Yes,
conversation
they can.
with anybody at any time.
From little to big. Don't make a difference.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
and it's
matter.
because because of you guys, because you've never sheltered them when it comes to that. You know, it's learn people, learn who they are, have the conversations.
Yeah.
And that's things we need to do more with our kids.
Yeah.
You know, and don't wait till they're 18 and want
Right.
to start trying to have a conversation
It's
with them.
now.
Yeah.
Whatever age it is now.
Exactly. Like
It
you're
is
saying,
now.
even with Pooh, like,
Yeah.
he's 3 and he can't sleep or the flip, but he's learning.
Yeah.
He's got to do chores. He's
Yes.
learning that he gets something
Yeah.
in return for putting in his investments at that age.
Because we make him his little things, and when he take out his toys, it's like, okay, now let's put those back.
Exactly.
Let's put those back. Thank you. I appreciate you. Love you much.
All right, babe. We really
We keep saying, okay, we got to stop. Okay,
we really
we
at
still
that
got-
time. We-
Okay, so here's the thing that we do all the time, which you guys know as well, is what is your final thought to the family? Like, what would be your final thought, Amber, to the family? What would you like them to know? Tips, trips, raising children, whatever. What would you like them to know?
Start from day one. Don't be afraid to change. And no matter what comes up, whatever God puts in your heart, as much as I fight it, you can still argue with God. God's big enough to take it, but you still got to act on it, just preferably before the, bottle of ibuprofen a week.
Yeah.
It's usually the best time to do that.
Before your hips get broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Chad, how about you?
So mine's to the single earner out there, right? So if you're taking care of the family, right, part of your job is to get as good as you can at your chosen profession, your chosen career, or whatever that purpose is, right? Because part of that's got to be, you just got to run faster. There's layoffs, there's closures, there's everything like that. But if you make yourself as good as you can at your job, that is actually a family service, because you could go through recessions and economic issues and still keep a job. And so just continue to improve yourself.
Wow.
I love it.
What about you, babe?
For me, I'm going to keep it real simple. Keep my final thought real simple.
Didn't I tell you?
He never says that ever.
I told you he says it all
Why
the
y'all
time.
laughing though? Chad, why are you timing me on? Put your stopwatch on. It does not matter how you start. It's the finish. Do not overlook meager beginnings. Just because you may not earn what you think you should be earning does not mean that you can't live a life that you're supposed to live.
Yeah.
You just have to make better decisions when you do it.
Yeah.
Everything that I've heard you guys say, it's about intentional decisions. And you have to make intentional decisions. If you want to travel, you may not be able to do it today, but start planning for it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And just make intentional decisions. That's all. Like I
Intentional.
said, keep it simple. What's your essay, babe? Because I know you got an essay.
I don't have a.
Whenever she
gotta-
gets done, I got one more thing.
I don't have an essay.
I'm gonna be Ann.
We'll go around twice.
Go around another time. We have a second final thought.
A second final thought for me is just, if you're in it together, be in it together.
Yep.
If you're in it together, be in it together, and trust each other that you guys can do this, especially when you put God first. You can do this thing. You can do it. Okay, Amber, what's your second one?
Okay, sorry. So, just for the family out there that doesn't realize where we came from.
Right.
Like, I grew up on a farm. My dad was a farmer. He was a poor farmer, for that matter, and then he got a job and worked his way up in a bank.
Right.
And that's where I grew up.
Right.
So we had vegetables. We had acres of garden that Amber had to go out at 7:00 in the morning. I hated summer vacation. If we wanted chicken for dinner, guess who had to go outside and catch the chicken and chop the head off?
Oh, no.
But that's how I grew up. So
Right.
it's not like going to the grocery store. You got to go to the grocery store for soap.
Right.
Right.
That was
As far as you gonna do it,
exactly.
right.
And Chad actually at one point was homeless with his family because
Right.
his dad had had a stroke and lost his job.
Wow.
So, I mean, to see where we are then, like if we could go back and see, let our kids see who we were when we were little versus where we are now, I think they would
Right.
have an even bigger appreciation for as hard as we've worked to not put ourselves in a position where we could be homeless. I mean, granted, that can happen in a heartbeat, but
Right.
like it's we've both come a long way.
But not without a fight.
But not
It's
without a
amazing.
fight.
But not without a fight.
I thoroughly enjoyed this
Thank
time.
you guys. Oh
Guys,
my
thank you so much.
gosh.
Thank you for talking to the family. Thank you
Yeah.
for sitting down and having this
having us.
conversation.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
It's been great.
Yeah,
It's
this
been
was
really
this was
good.
your idea, Ben. I'm glad you did it.
Yes.
You actually had good
This
ideas
is my
sometimes.
people. I always have good ideas. Thank you very much.
Family.
Yes.
Thank you for listening, family. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, we love you guys so much.
However you're listening, whether it's iTunes, whether it's Podbean, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Google Podcasts, whether it's Amazon Music, whether it's iHeartRadio on our own personal website at www.thecrenshawcorner.com, or if you're watching us on YouTube.
Very good, baby.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Amber.
If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, and click that
Yes,
notification
please
button to
do.
be updated on our newest episodes. Yeah, that right there.
You okay?
I'm okay.
You gonna make it?
We're also an interactive podcast, which means we can be found on the socials. We're on Instagram,
Instas.
we're on Facebook,
We're
we're on
bookers.
Twitter.
Man, we tweet.
All in the Crenshaw Corner.
Yes,
And
we
of course,
do.
you can email us at thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com. Once again, thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com. And as always, family, welcome to our journey.
We love you guys. Bye.